What's up, everyone? This is your host, Ghost, coming to you live with another wonderful video. How is everyone doing today? Sorry about the push. I had to push it back a little bit due to, just because I had to. My newborn kept my wife up, and I had to take care of her. Well, I I wanted to let my wife get a little bit of sleep because our newborn kept her up. So that's why, I ended up pushing the show back a little bit. Just due to that. So, if you're wondering, yeah, that's why I was taking care of my wife. Well, not really taking care of her, but I was watching our little ones while my wife got a little sleep in because she didn't get any last night. Anyone who's ever had a newborn knows exactly what I am talking about. She's in that cluster feeding stage, and it is what it is. So yeah, that's what happened. That's all. Nothing too major or anything like that. Um, but that's why I had to push the show back just a little bit so I could do that while I watched my little ones, which is fine. I enjoyed spending time with my daughters. Didn't really do anything. We just hung out, and my oldest was just chilling on her tablet while I was relaxing. But yeah, so that's what happened. So I do apologize for pushing it back a little bit, but still getting it done today and not doing it I think pushing it back's a lot better than not doing it at all, which was what I would sometimes have to do. But since I'm on paternity leave, I don't have to worry about that shit. I can just do it myself, do it anytime. So, pluses and minuses. Um, little housekeeping. Make sure you follow me on X at official W Ghost. Best way to find out when I'm going live and everything. So check me out there. And then of course, once you finish checking me out and follow me on X, follow me on Rumble, rumble.com/withghost is the best way to find me. Because, well, if I'm gonna stay anywhere, it's definitely gonna be Rumble. Um, let's see what else. And then of course, YouTube, the daily YouTube. YouTube.com/ at with ghost. It's the best way to find me. And then twitch.tv twitch.tv/with official with ghost. Yeah, so that's where you can find me there as well. And yeah, and then I'm also streaming on X, so you may be seeing. So if you're watching on X already, go to my Rumble channel and follow me there. It'd be much appreciated. Um, yeah. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, looks like we got more drama with the Crowder stuff. Apparently, what was it? Shit. Hold on. Not Gay Jared has filed a lawsuit of unfair labor and unfair labor practice charge against Crowder. So we're gonna look at the article that was posted, because I don't really think it's an actual suit. It's more like a thing. But whatever. So that was posted yesterday. Bad timing, of course, April Fool's Day. And then we're going to talk about Trans Visibility Day. And then we're going to talk about Governor Kathy Hochul being asked to leave NYPD's officers' wake. And there's some various speculations on that, but we're going to get into it. Afterwards, we'll apparently mascots at kids' parties, twerking is a thing now for whatever fucking reason. So we're gonna get into that. And then there was an anti-Kyle Rittenhouse protest at Western Kentucky University. We're gonna look at that, and finally, we're gonna listen to Amber Rose talk about how we don't need. She thinks women don't need men. I don't know why. So yeah, that's the plan for today. No idea how long this is gonna take. It's gonna take as long as it takes, really. Oh, having some nice coffee. All right. Before I get too deep into this crap, let's just want to make sure my audio is good. I've always had a couple times where the audio was shit, and then I did a whole video, and oh look, audio was crappy. All right, cool. All right, so the audio is good. And that's all we care about, right? All right. All right. So let's get into the video or, well, the show. Do-do-do. So this was, I have no idea what. So he filed an NLRB complaint against Crowder. His Matt Bruin, who I think is not Gay Jared's attorney. So hold on. Okay, so that's a National Labor Relations Board complaint. So it's against an employer violates the National Labor Retaliation Act. So there we go. I think Matt Bruin is an attorney. Oh no, yeah, he's an American lawyer, blogger, political analyst, commentator, and founder of left-leaning think tank People's Policy Project. Okay, so there you go. Before we get into it, I think Gerald had something he was mentioning, or was it? Mm-hmm. Nope, that's not what I want. There you go. Maybe it was her. Okay. It was a recording. Someone mentioned how, uh, the lawsuit that was just dropped. Oh, I think it was a quartering. The lawsuit that was dropped didn't actually mention anything that Jared alleged. I don't think this is a lawsuit. This is a non-national board's labor relations thing. God, this dude posted so fucking much. Sorry. I got everything else ready, but I wanted to talk about this real quick. Okay. Yeah, so it was a quartering. So actually, start screen sharing, boom. So this is something the quartering dropped. I don't know how accurate it is. I haven't really found any lawsuit by Not Gay Jared. I don't know if he's talking about the national, um, the NLRB, National Labor, whatever, uh, Board Relations Act. But this is what he's saying. So the Not Gay Jared lawsuit dropped today, and in not one single place is there mention or evidence that Steven Crowder has prevented him from working over the past 6 years. Not one. That was the entire crux of him raising $100,000, right? Because Crowder wouldn't let him work. Now that $100K he raised will go to some lawyer who has no chance to win this lawsuit. If I could give advice, there you go. Oh wait, hold on. There we go. That's why. Cool. Sorry, just reorganizing shit. Okay, there we go. Just in case you people on Twitter want to chat me. I don't want to, because I don't know if Rumble will filter it through. All right. So No change. If I could give an advice, it would be to first pay taxes on your 100K and then use that to launch your own show, etc. Move on. He grifted 100,000 people, $100,000 from people who hated. I disagree with this advice here, honestly. I think he should, if he grifted the money, I'd say he should give it back if he lied about it. That probably would put him in more, cause him more hangups than anything. But whatever. He grifted 100,000 people from people who hated Crowder or who believe all women or both. And to be honest, impressive. Go look at the lawsuit yourself. It's hilarious. Oh, by the way, remember, he willingly signed the documents. Here is the coverage. Okay. It's hilarious. And then this is what we're looking at currently right here. Again, I don't know if this is a lawsuit. I think this is more of a complaint. I don't think the National Labor Relations Board is an actual lawsuit. I could be wrong. I have no idea. I am not a lawyer. I do not report to be a lawyer. I'm just some regular Joe Schmo who reads stuff because he's bored. So I absolutely have no idea. But we're gonna read this. Maybe it is a lawsuit. All right. So and Cordring has done this a lot longer than I have, so he probably has more knowledge than I do. So I will defer to him until my main man, who I normally listen to, Rakeda, chimes in. And if he chimes in, he might not, but if he ever chimes in and talks about it, then I will I'll listen to that. Okay, I'm trying to change this to make it more popping. Maybe if I go with red wine. Do, 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 do. Yeah, I think I chose the top because it was. Yeah, it went over my face too much, and I'm way too beautiful to deal with that. Oh, okay, that might be better. Come on, you bugger. Sorry, I'm just fucking with stuff at this point. I'm getting distracted. There we go. That works a lot better. All right. Sorry. Anyways, so this is the apparent lawsuit. I don't know if it's a lawsuit, but apparently, I have filed unfair labor practice charges. I guess that's kind of a lawsuit. Yeah, I guess it's a lawsuit. Okay, so this is apparently the lawsuit. Now, according to the quartering, everything that not Kate Jared said was going on is not actually in this lawsuit. So, just keep an eye out for that. So let's get into it. For many years, Steven Crowder has been the most popular, affluent online conservative media personalities in the country. His YouTube channel has 5.8 million followers, and his videos regularly attract hundreds of thousands and even millions of people. In 2018, Crowder's producer, Jared Mittello, aka Jared Monroe, quit his job along with his brother, Aaron Mittello. As part of quitting his job, like many other workers in the country, Jared signed a separation agreement that contains confidentiality and non-disparagement clauses. The clauses read as following. As part of this agreement, as an additional material inducement to the parties, to enter this agreement, employers and employee agree to keep the existence and agreement of this term agreement confidential and to not disclose its provisions to anyone except immediate family members, tax advisors, legal counsels, or as required by law. Any further disclosure other than as authorized herein shall constitute a breach of this agreement. Now, This is the same thing as an NDA? Because this might be even further proof than what Jared was saying was a lie. Because apparently he's not supposed to disclose its provisions to anyone except immediate family members, tax advisors, legal counsels, or as required by law. So if Jared says that, oh, I didn't get any money from it, I got a tweak to the non-disparage clause, as he claims, he legally isn't able to disclose that. I think. I don't know for sure, but that's what it sounds like to me. And then disparagement. Employer and employee further agree not to take action or make statements, written or oral, that would disparage or otherwise defame the goodwill or reputation of the other or its business, customers, client, members, managers, predecessors, successors, parents, subsidiaries, affiliates, insurers, assigns, agents, attorneys, employees, shareholders, and representatives. Now, 6 years later, Crowder, through his company Louder with Crowder, LLC, LWC, has begun aggressively pursuing legal action against Jared. Okay, so on October 27, 2023, attorneys for LWC filed a Rule 2020 or 202 petition in a Texas district court asking the court to order Jared to provide documents and be deposed about things he may have said to dozens of people about Louder with Crowder. On October 30th, 2023, attorneys for LWC sent a cease and desist letter to Jared instructing him to immediately cease and desist from any further disparaging statements, written or oral, about Louder with Crowder. On March 27th, 2024, attorneys for Louder with Crowder filed a complaint in a Texas court alleging that Jared breached a non-disparagement provision in the complaint. Attorneys for Louder with Crowder focused entirely on innocuous text messages between Jared and Crowder's ex-wife, Hillary. Hillary and Stephen recently divorced following the release of security footage of Stephen berating his then pregnant wife. Not really sure what this has to do. Like this part here, this like Hillary and Stephen, I don't think this anything has to do with anything, except this really has nothing to do with what he's talking about, what this apparent lawsuit is. Odd, but okay. In the video, he snaps at her to put on gloves to give his dog medicine, walk the dogs, and otherwise perform wifely duties as she is clearly emotionally distressed. That's a leap. Towards the end of the exchange, Hillary says to her husband, "Your abuse is sick." He snaps at her, saying, "Watch it, fucking watch it." Moments later, off camera, Stephen Crowder, by his admission, would lose. Really? I don't remember him ever admitting this. By his admission, would lose control and scream at his pregnant wife in a threatening tone, "I will fuck you up," which led his wife to flee their home. I don't believe that's true. I don't think that's true. I don't remember seeing Crowder admit this at all. Crowder appears to be lashing out at Jared because he allegedly reached out to Hillary as a friend during the divorce process. That's not really it. The reason he's quote unquote lashing out is because apparently Jared is colluding with his wife to disparage Crowder. The problem with LWC's legal assault on Jared is that the confidentiality and non-disparage clause with LWC is relying upon blatantly violating Section 8A1 of the National Labor Act, NLRA. National Labor Relations Act. In Shamrock Foods 2018, the National Labor Relations Board, NLRB, analyzed a separation agreement that contains the following confidentiality and non-confidentiality clauses. Confidentiality. You have executed a confidentiality agreement and you acknowledge that the terms of such agreement remain in effect notwithstanding the termination of your employment. You may not use, disclose, or any of the company's confidential information for any reason following your terminations during the transition period. You agree not to make any disparaging remarks or take any action now or at any time in the future, which could be detrimental to the released parties. The board found that both of these clauses violated Section 8A1 of the NLRA and ordered the employer to rescind them. Most recently, in McLaren McCobb 2023, the board analyzed a severance agreement with the following confidential and non disparagement clauses. Confidentiality of employment acknowledged that the terms of this agreement are confidential and agree not to disclose them to any third person other than spouse or as necessary to professional advisors for the purpose of obtaining legal counsel or tax advice, or unless legally compelled to do so by court or administrative agency of competent jurisdiction. All times hereafter, the employee agrees not to make any statements to employees, or to the general public, which could disparage or harm the image of the employer, its parents and affiliate entities, and their officers, directors, employees, agents, and representatives. As in Shamrock Foods, the board found that both clauses violated Section 8A1 of the NLRA and ordered the employer to rescind them. Even more recently, in March 2024, Regional 19 of the NLRB issued a complaint against SpaceX for having confidentially non-disparage clauses in a severance agreement that were virtually identical to the clauses in McLaren McCobb, Shamrock Foods, and Jared's separation agreement. The law is clear that the mere existence of these kind of restrictive clauses violates the NLRA. Attempting to enforce them by sending cease and desist letters, seeking judicial discovery, and filing lawsuits as LWC has done also separately violates the NLRA. Last Friday, acting as legal representative, I filed an unfair labor practice charge in the Atlanta region of the NLRB, alleging that LWC has committed the following unfair labor practices: maintaining an illegal confidential ruling in an employment agreement, maintaining an illegal confidentiality ruling in a separation agreement, maintaining an illegal non-disparage rule in a separation agreement, engaging in unlawful interrogation surveillance by seeking to obtain information about protected activities using the tools of judicial discovery, sending legal threats instructing Jared to not engage in protected activity, filing a baseless retaliatory lawsuit seeking the illegal objective of enforcing legal confidentially non-disparage rules. If Mr. Mitelo charges prevail in the NLRB, Louder with Crowder LLC will be required to rescind these clauses from all of its separation agreements with former employees and be required to reimburse Mr. Mitelo for any legal expenses he has already incurred or will incur going forward, contending with his former employer's illegal state court actions. In addition to being illegal, LWC behavior is in this case also reprehensible and curious. Giving this is like what kind of fucking lawsuit is this shit? LWC's behavior politics contrary to the basic spirits of free speech and free markets. Employers should not attempt to lock down the speech of their former employers for the rest of their life. We do not live in a feudal society, but rather in a free labor regime where workers are allowed to move between employers and communicate with one another and to the public about the merits of one employer over another. They should not live in fear of being harassed in court for exercising their rights. Okay, but you willingly signed this. That's the thing. Like, okay, yeah, you got these other things, but all right, so what? Like, I don't know. It seems kind of ridiculous. It just seems odd that this is weird. Let's see. Where's so basically he's sent out a sorry, okay. Okay. Sorry. Looking at stuff. I was never mind. But I mean, this is odd because it's a back and forth between the two agreement. Like Crowder agrees not to disparage Jared, and and Jared agrees not to disparage Crowder. Apparently, that's still illegal somehow, according to Somer. Because let's see. Yeah, because I think the difference between the two of them is that the ones he cited, anyways. The difference between them is it's only a one sided agreement. Like it's only an agreement with the employee to not disparage the employer. While Jared's is the employee and the employer agree not to disparage each other. Which seems like a big difference between the ones he mentioned and the ones and Jared's case. But I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. We'll see how this goes. I'm looking at various other lawyers, Twitter lawyers like Robert Barnes, who I believe, if I'm not mistaken, helped draft the terms of service for Rumble. He says what the saying that that it's illegal regardless by William Somer, whatever. Says that's not an accurate statement of the law. So I have no idea. We'll see how this goes. I'll keep reporting on it regardless. But there we go. That's the lawsuit from Jared. So basically, he's saying you having this in your separation agreement is illegal. We want you to, or we're having the board try. We want the board to look at this, and if he's right, then or if they prevail, then then if so, if they find it, if they believe, hey, this is what's the word I'm fucking looking for? It fucking basically, yeah. So if the board finds that it is illegal to have these things, then Crowder will have to rescind these parts of the agreement, and then also pay back Jared for the legal fees he incurred while fighting this. And the courting is correct. There was nothing that Jared said in his video that was part of this lawsuit. Like nothing he said. Like he said that Crowder prevented him from working for or attempted to prevent him from working. It's just like all this lawsuit focus was on these parts of this confidentiality and non-disparage statements are illegal. That's all that was. There's nothing about the whole he harassed me a bunch of times. He prevented me from working. He got me fired from a job I went to shortly after. Like nothing that really the only thing he really said in the video that he was using to crowdfund money for his lawsuit was yeah, like the that his confidentiality and disparage clause were illegal, but it didn't say he was forced to sign this or he wasn't like nothing. There's nothing really that Jared said that was in the lawsuit except that like maybe these things were illegal. And I don't remember him saying that the non-disparagement clause and confidentiality clauses were illegally written and I shouldn't be bound to this. So I mean, unless he's coming up with a different lawsuit, I guess. But nothing he really accused Crowder of. was in this lawsuit. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting that nothing he claimed was in his lawsuit really. But hey, he crowdfunded a bunch of money for it, so I guess good on him. All right, moving on. Sure, that'll be it for the day, or for a while for the whole Crowder and Jared drama. All right, so the third Sunday, the 31st, is Trans Day of Visibility, and this was the proclamation. So, to everyone celebrating Transgender Day of Visibility, I want you to know that your president sees you, the first lady, the vice president, the second gentleman, and my entire administration sees you for who you are, made in the image of God and deserving of dignity, respect, and support. Well, if you're made in the image of God, then what you're made is what you should be. So this line here doesn't make sense. If you're made in the image of God, then how you were born was how you were born, right? Am I crazy for thinking this? I don't know. I'm not a very godly person, so who knows? On this day and every day, we recognize the resilience, strength, and joy of transgender, non-binary, and gender non-conforming people. We celebrate the activism and determination that have fueled the fight for transgender equality. We acknowledge the adversary and discrimination that the transgender community continues to face across our nation and around the world. Visibility matters, and so many transgender, non binary, and gender non conforming Americans are thriving. Like never before, they are sharing their stories in books, magazines, and breaking glass ceilings and representation on TV, television, and movie screens, enlisting once again to serve proudly and openly in our military, getting elected and making policies at every level of government, and running businesses, curing diseases, and serving our communities. Yeah, no, they're being forced upon us. They're not breaking any glass ceilings. They're being forced upon us. It's a difference. Let's see. Despite this, transgender Americans continue to face discrimination, harassment, and barriers to opportunities. Transgender women and girls, especially transgender women and girls of color, continue to face epidemic levels of violence. You got any proof of that? In 2021 marked the deadliest year on record for transgender Americans. Each of their lives were lost was precious. Okay. Now, violence. Do you mean someone was the one who was doing the violence on them, or are you talking about the suicides? Just wondering. Each of them deserve freedom, justice, and joy. We must honor their lives with actions by advance equity and civil rights for all transgender people. And they like what? The past couple of years was the record high of transgender mass shooters, right? In the past year, hundreds of anti-transgender bills in states were proposed across America, most of them targeting transgender kids. Not targeting, protecting kids from this freaking bullshit where you get weirdos who can't have kids because they're not can't have their own kids because they literally can't, and because they're not attracted to the people that can equip them with kids with the right equipment to have kids. But they're not targeting transgender kids. You're claiming they're transgender, and we're saying, hey, let kids be kids, and when they turn 18, they can decide what they want. The onslaught has continued this year. These bills are wrong. I disagree. Efforts to criminalize supportive medical care for transgender kids. Yeah, those medical care. Yeah, that's without the parents' knowledge or consent. So, like, that's why. It's not criminalizing because they're transgender. It's criminalizing medical professionals from keeping this stuff hidden from parents. That's what's being criminalized. To ban transgender children from playing sports? No. Playing sports of the opposite gender of what they were actually born as. So preventing guys from playing girl sports, where girls will lose to guys most of the time. And to outlaw discussing LGBTQI plus people in schools, undermining the humanity and corroding our nation's values. I don't think our nation values had anything doing with the LGBTQ people. And yeah, outlying because people would just slam, like, bad, just throw it in the kids' faces. And it's like, I don't really care that my kid learns about LGBTQ people in school. We can talk about that at home. I want them to get an education. And honestly, uh, trans, gays, lesbians, not really important enough to be like to for my kid to be, taught it in school. If I want to teach them about it, I'll teach them my own. Or if I want to learn about it, it's supposed to be just regular school stuff. We never had that, and when I was in school, we never, talked about LGBTQ people and all that shit. Like we didn't. Maybe in biology class when we did sex ed or something. Well, not biology, but sex ed class, maybe, and that's where it's appropriate. But now we're discussing it everywhere in all classes for some fucking reason. Not important. Studies have shown that these political attacks are damaging to mental health and well-being of transgender youth, putting children and their family at greater risk of bullying and discrimination. I'm willing to bet most of the times because they're in their faces saying, must call me this person, and they're like, nah, and that's the bullying. My entire administration is committed to ensuring that transgender people enjoy the freedom and equality that are promised to everyone. This is why I am signing an executive order preventing and combating discrimination on the basis of gender identity or sexual orientation. It's interesting. You got to do an executive order because you can't get it passed because no one actually wants any of this stuff. We are expanding federal non discrimination protections, promoting strategies to address violence against the transgender community, and advance gender equity and equality, and disseminating new resources to enhance inclusion opportunities and safety for transgender people. Additionally, Americans will soon be able to select more inclusive genders. Oh my God, markers for their passports. Yeah. Watch other countries be like, no, we're not accepting this. I continue to call on the Congress to swiftly pass the Bipartisan Equality Act, which will ensure that LGBTQI people, individuals, and families cannot be denied housing, employment, education, credits, and more because of who they are and who they love. I highly doubt that's going on. We will continue to help transgender people around the world live free from discrimination and violence. On this Transgender Day of Visibility, we honor transgender people who are fighting for freedom, equality, dignity, and respect. We also celebrate the parents, teachers, coaches, doctors, and other allies who affirm the identity of their transgender children and help these young people reach their potential. So, garbage human beings, got it. Garbage human beings that want to, use propaganda against their kids. Cool. Transgender people are some of the bravest Americans I know. Doubt it. And our nation and world are stronger, more vibrant, and more prosperous because of them. No, they're not. Not at all. To transgender Americans of all ages, I want you to know that you are so brave. You belong. I have your back. No, he doesn't. He's trying to score political points with you. That's all he's trying to do. Doesn't give two shits about you. All right. Now, therefore, I, Joseph R. Biden Jr., President of the United States, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Constitution and the laws of the United States, do proclaim March 31st, 2022. Was this like a while ago? Or did he just make a fucking mistake? Because I'm pretty sure this was a recent thing. Hold on. Because I thought the big controversy. Hold on. Now I'm confused here. Is this. Am I reading the wrong thing? Did I get fooled? No. Then why the hell does this say March 2020 of? Hold on. Okay, so yeah, no, okay, well then, all right. Okay, all right. So there we go. I've learned something today. So yeah, this is back in 2022. So apparently, back in 2000, 2021, that's when he officially acknowledged. Wait, okay. I think the thing is actually he made it a holiday today. Hold on. Yeah, okay. So I think the controversy actually is that he made it a holiday, right? Oh no, he didn't. Okay, well then I don't know why people were so upset about it. All right. Well now I just don't care now. I thought what happened was that Biden had proclaimed it a holiday and it came on Easter and this is the first time I'm ever hearing about transgender visibility. Crap. So I had no idea. But apparently he proclaimed it 2021. So he's kind of just doing and it was the same day too. 2021 of March 31st. So I, I I don't think anyone can really have an issue because he did do it the year before, 2 years before. I don't know if he did it the year before, but he did it at least 2 years before. Yeah. Okay. All right. So now the outrage is done. Okay. So now the outrage on the other side is on the left side or the right side is dumb because yes, it just so happened that uh, Easter fell on today on the 31st of March. But to be fair, credit where credit is due, Biden had already proclaimed the 31st of March as Transgender Visibility Day. So he's just doing it again. So I really don't see the issue here. Let's see. Unless he didn't do it last year. So let's see if he did it last year. Yeah. So it's been March 31st for a bit now. Okay. So yeah, now conservatives, you look ridiculous because you've been doing this for a minute. Maybe you weren't aware of it, but he's been doing it for a minute. So now it's less of an issue, in my opinion. It would have been one thing if we decided to proclaim it today on the 31st this year and hadn't at all any other day. But apparently, he he did it 2 years before. Like in 2023 he did it, and in 2021 he did it as well. So it's less of a big deal, in my opinion. It just so happens March fell on or March 31st was Easter. I don't think it was anything against Easter. It's just him being consistent. So, conservatives, you can't really be mad because he's been doing it for a bit now. That was my own fault. I didn't even see the 2022 part. So that was my bad. But hey, now we learned something. So now it's less of a big deal, in my opinion. Although anyone gives a shit. I don't care. All right. Let's see. So, all right. So, let's see. Last week, was it? March 29th? At least when this was posted. Governor. I'd like to get some background on this. Sorry. So let's see. I just want an article more about this. Isn't this guy? Okay. Sorry. So let's see. One more. All right. So the governor of New York was apparently kicked out of the funeral honoring Jonathan Diller. Jonathan Diller was the NYPD officer, 31 years old, who died after a traffic stop during in Queens. And apparently, he's the first police officer to lose their life in line of duty in 2 years. Probably has to do with the lack of actual policing than anything else. Not to good policies. So apparently, the incident was Officer Dillard approached an illegally parked vehicle with his partner, and he apparently asked the two men to move their car. They refused to roll down their windows, and then all of a sudden, one of them shot Diller, and Dillard fought back, wrestled the firearm away from the gunman, and then eventually died. Kind of sucks, honestly. See if there's any real reporting on this. Nothing on the actual incident, which is kind of becoming a pain in the ass. Okay, so the shooting happened just before 6 p.m. in Fair Rockers, Queens. Where was Spider Man? After Dillard and his partner encountered I guess I should probably post, share this so everyone will read it with me. All right, so this is how the murder unfolded. So after Diller and his partner encountered a vehicle illegally parked at a bus stop, according to the police, as the pair approached the vehicle, a man inside shot Dillard below his bulletproof vest. Okay, interesting. So this is Fox News is saying one thing, and then the chat thing saying something completely different, but weird. Dillard's partner returned fire and wounded the suspect shooter, who was brought to a hospital. Dillard was taken to Jamaican hospital medical care, but could not be saved. The police department's chief detectives, Joseph Kenny, said Dillard and his partner initially tried to order the vehicle's driver and passenger out of the vehicle, which was stopped at a busy but narrow street in a bustling commercial district. He was asked to leave the car. Kenny said of the person who pulled the gun, he was given a lawful order numerous times to step out of the car. He refused, and when the officers took him out of the car, rather than stepping out of the car, he shot our officer. Kenny said Dillard stayed in the fight after being wounded and tried to disarm the shooter, whose name was not immediately released by police. The gun hit the ground, and as the perpetrator was still reaching for it, this cop was able to grab it, although he was still shot. The slaying was the first of NYPD officers since 2022, when two officers, Wilbert Mora, 27, and Jason Rivera, 22, were ambushed in Harlem buildings after responding to a domestic servant's call. Gunman has been identified as 34-year-old Guy Rivera. So that's about it. That Guy Rivera was found not to be the guy. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. Okay, I guess not. All right, so there we go. So that's the background on it all. Then there's like some, people suspect they were casing a store for a robbery. That's why they were there. Who cares? So that's not what I wanted to talk. What I wanted to talk about, of course, was this. So apparently, Kathy Hochul, the New York governor, was confronted after trying to make her, typical political, appearance. Donald Trump did this too. He was far more well received apparently than Kathy. So let's see what happened. All right, so that's the video. People are claiming that she was kicked out of the wake of Jonathan Dillard. But now we'll move on to this, who they apparently have a different thing. New York Post has a different view, or I don't know, whatever the words. So Governor Kathy Hochul was filmed being confronted by an emotional mourner on her way out of a short visit to the wake of a slain NYPD hero Jonathan Dillard Friday afternoon, with bystanders applauding as she made her exit. The unidentified man dressed in black gestured firmly and was visibly agitated as he spoke to the Democratic lawyer, according to the footage. The tension clash received support from groups of onlookers gathered outside the venue who clapped as the mourner New York Times has really crappy writing. As the blank-faced governor shuffled back to her car. So this was of the video we just saw. Holch, who had asked the NYPD Police Benevolent Association, and the Nassau County Police Benefit Association of the time about attending, arrived at the Massapek Funeral Home on Long Island for the second day of the viewing at around 1:45 p.m. While at the emotional event, Holch had an animated conversation with Dillard's 29-year-old widow, Stephanie, one witness told the Post. It looked like she was telling Holch off, they said, uh, of the tense exchange. It didn't look like a widow had a kind word to say. Of course not. Holch left immediately after that, the individual claimed. Well, that doesn't appear to be true. Another source, however, said they saw the governor having a short, respectful conversation with the devastated family. She greeted the family members and walked out, they told Post, noting she was inside for 10 to 15 minutes. It was a brief, respectful visit. She was not asked to leave, added the source of the incident outside. Sorry, people are walking in front of my ring camera. It was initially believed the governor was asked to leave, in a telling reflection of the leader's frosty reception. Sources said Holch discussed policy with the grieving family. Okay. Don't talk about policy, okay? Let's not talk about policy. Just because all you just look like is scummy. You look like just trying to get there for political points. When you start discussing policy with a grieving family, just go there and pay your respects and just say, I'm really sorry that this happened. I really do hope that, we are the officers here are able, and the prosecutors are able to um, find enough evidence to put this guy away, who apparently has been indicted by a grand jury, which isn't very hard to do, and is being held without bail, I believe. Anyways, but yeah, don't talk about policies. All right, just let the family grieve and just be respectful with them. All right. Progressive policies such as bail reform has been blamed for Dillard's tragic death. And we'll discuss that in a second, because apparently Guy Rivera has had plenty of chances to not be a shit person. That he's not a that he hasn't taken. Anyways, Holt's brief stop came one day after former President Donald Trump paid his respects at the first day of viewing, where he stayed for around 40 minutes. Now, to be fair, Donald Trump doesn't have any real obligations. Really, he just he can go there and spend a lot of time. She's the governor. She may have have only now, according to someone, she was there for 10, 15 minutes. Now, while other people said she wasn't allowed in at all. I don't know. But let's to be fair, let's say that it's true that she was there for 10, 15 minutes. She's busy. She has a whole state to run. She can't, spend 40 minutes. She probably had a lot of other things running a state to do. So let's be fair. The length of time doesn't really matter. It's what you really do in that time span. Dillard's 30 was shot and killed. So we read that. Fired Monday evening after the cop approached the vehicle Rivera was parked in front. Once in the stomach. Rivera was wounded when Dillard's partner returned fire. The suspect had 21 prior arrests and was found to have a shiv stored in his rectum during the shooting, in apparent anticipation of being sent to jail again. What the fuck? Lindy Jones, the ex-con behind the wheel of the car during the shooting, was also arrested after a second gun was found in his car. Mayor Eric Adams renewed his calls for Albany to address criminal recidivism following the shooting involving two suspects with lengthy criminal records. Interesting. The real estate mogul who told the Post he was invited to the wake and this is about Donald Trump, of course, to the wake by the family, spent time talking to Stephanie and even meeting the couple's young son, Ryan. Apparently, he has a 1-year-old son, and that's Ryan. Ahead of the of Friday's proceedings, Dillard's brother-in-law shared a string of images of Trump embracing a woman in a family lineup. No words needed. Jonathan McCauley, Jesus Christ, who is also an NYPD officer, captioned the post. Trump referred to the murder cop as a great officer, top of his class. That's beautiful. And that's Dillard. It says some. I said something has to come out of it, and the only thing you could really think that could come out of this is we get stronger and tougher, so this doesn't keep happening. He told the Post of his conversation with Stephanie. See, that's probably that's still kind of policy, but not really, really, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of a policy thing, but it's not really. It's kind of like, it's kind of hidden away. It's in between the lines. All right. In the days since Dillard's killing, Hochul has come under fire as the face of controversial bail reform, which is why she all of a sudden started talking about policy about bail reform, apparently. Which law enforcement blames for the rise of recidivism. Despite her own efforts to roll back the reforms, Hochul has failed to cut down the changes that many argue allow violent criminals onto the street put cops and everyday New Yorkers at risk. Prime suspect in Dillard's murder, 34-year-old Guy Rivera, has at least 21 prior arrests and did a 5-year stint in prison. Okay, so that's that here. If you want to donate, right there. At the time of the shooting, Rivera was seated in a Kia driven by 41-year-old Lindy Jones, who was previously convicted of attempted murder, but let loose on a $75K bail for an illegal gun charge last spring. Mayor Eric Adams, a former NYPD captain, lashed out at Albany for its lackadaisical approach to bail, reform, and recidivism at a summer press conference on Tuesday. This is the same guy who wants immigrants to live in New Yorkers' houses. He wants New Yorkers to open their homes to illegal immigrants. Interesting. What's interesting is that our practice, laws, and policies are not going after these issues, his zoner said. We always had a problem with recidivism. It's always been a problem, but we never really zeroed in on it with a case after case, he told reporters. Ahead of the weekend service, Sergeants Benevolent Association President Vincent J. Valalog also wrote a scathing letter warning members of the city council not to show their faces. Ariana Adams, Jumana Williams, and their cohorts should stay home, he told the Post, name-checking the two local lawmakers who pushed the council to reject Mayor Eric Adams' veto on the How Many Stops Act in January. They detest cops and have no appreciation for what they do. They should stay home and not pretend they are grieving. They have caused enough heartbreak and destruction, Valalong insisted, adding that their presence is a stain on the legacy of a true hero who made the ultimate sacrifice. So there we go. Whew. So there's conflicting reports. Some say that she was kicked out. Others say she wasn't. So who's to really know? So who knows? I really don't know, because guess what? Unless, like, the problem with the video is it's only clipped. It doesn't show when she arrives, and it doesn't show her being stopped. It just shows her being, because for all we know, she could have been on her way out and then confronted by the mourner. So, either things could be true, honestly. One source says one thing, another source says another. The only person that can really tell us is going to be the widow. So whether she will or not, who knows? All right. This is from Andy No. A video of children's party featuring Disney Pixar characters have gone viral with no context or information. I did some digging. The video was recently recorded in New Orleans and uploaded as business promo material for Daquan's cartoon mascots. So like, look at this right here. There's this kid like, touching an adult's ass. The fuck is this? There's this chick twerking on Woody. Like, do they not see this as inappropriate? Here's a little kid touching, getting basically twerked on by a grown woman in a costume. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, what kind of degeneracy do we have here? There's these people at a fucking birthday party twerking on fucking kids, twerking on a fucking Pixar mascot. Like, what is this? Like, and unfortunately, this is a big problem in the black community. Is they got there's a lot of videos going viral of them being very degenerate people, and it's causing harm to the black community as a whole. And you don't really see a lot of black people like standing up for against this. Like, what is this? And there's even more. Hold on. I thought that was it. Like, what the hell is this? Now they're twerking on each other. Like, how? Like, what the fuck is this? Is there more? There's more, apparently. Okay. The kid's like, this isn't cool. I don't know why this kid and people wonder why no one has any respect for the black community anymore. Look, sure, is this all black people? No, absolutely not. It's not all black people. Of course not. There's a lot of good individuals who are black that think this is disgusting. But unfortunately, your culture is projected as this. The hip hop music, that's all it is degeneracy. These are Pixar kids' movies twerking at a toddler's birthday party. What the fuck? These are kids. And I don't care what anyone says, twerking's very sexual. Any more? Okay. Like, what is this shit? What is this, really? Like, I really don't understand this. This is really disgusting to have in front of children. Like, why are you twerking in front of children? Why are you doing suggestive sexual dances in front of children? and unfortunately, this is the view of the black community. Is there are a bunch of degenerates that do this type of shit, and that's why the black community fails. There's like come on, like, how is there not outrage in your guys' community saying like, what are these people doing? Why are we twerking in front of children? It's not how it used to be. Like, what is this shit? You don't see a lot of white people doing this shit. You don't see a lot of Hispanic people doing this shit. You don't see a lot of any other race doing this shit. And if you do, well, guess what? We're gonna say the same shit like this. What kind of degeneracy are we doing here? This is a big problem in the black community. This is a big problem in America. Like, stop twerking in front of children. What the fuck is this shit? Like, there's nothing wrong with being, having mascots and shit and all that cool. But like, what the fuck, twerking? You're gonna twerk in front of kids? You're gonna twerk on kids? You're gonna twerk on a costume character in front of kids? I guess Woody got a there's a reason Woody has his name apparently. What the fuck is this shit? People wonder why the black community is failing. You got that shit, that levels of degeneracy going on. This is disgusting. This is gross. What the fuck, people? But whatever. All right. All right. So moving on, like, because it really sickens my stomach. I don't want to watch this crap anymore. It's interesting too. There's not a lot of like people I would see as father figures. There's a few guys there, but no real father figures in that twerking session. Not a lot of older gentlemen. But maybe I'm just being racist. All right, so there was an anti-Kyle Rittenhouse protest at Western Kentucky. Let's check out this video before we check out the video on top, because this was the actual protest.
We black and we proud. 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 No peace. No peace. No peace. No peace. Cause you can't stop the revolution. You can't stop the revolution. You can't stop the revolution.
They're chanting "We black and we proud." Kyle Rittenhouse never shot any black people. Like, what is this shit? Do they just not know that? All right. So this is, as you can see. Hold on. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, that's not the same guy. Never mind. All right. So let's see what this gentleman says. He says, apparently, he says that Rittenhouse is a white supremacist and the idea he propagates are a threat to minorities on campus. He doesn't think Rittenhouse acted in self-defense in Kenosha. It's because he's retarded.
A threat to black people coming on campus here now?
I don't think he's just a threat to just black people. I think based on his ideas and the people that support him and the ideas.
His ideas are, if you get attacked by someone, you should be able to defend himself even with lethal force. Right? That's his ideas, right? If you get attacked, you should be able to defend yourself with lethal force if you need to. Pretty sure that's his ideals.
That he continues to propagate and push forward are a threat to any minority on this campus, whether it be black people, Latin people, Latino people,
it's Latinx, you bigot.
Queer people, and anybody that falls under any minority umbrella. They are a victim to the ideologies and to the characteristics of anybody that falls under the umbrella of Kyle Rittenhouse and his associates.
Absolutely. I know in a trial a couple of years ago, they ended up finding him not guilty on murder charges.
Actually,
what do you make of that?
Acquitted him.
They acquitted him.
The difference between is basically just that they couldn't find any actual liable evidence to say.
No, they found him not guilty. They didn't acquit him. They found him not guilty.
That
the jury came back and said, no, he's not guilty.
Was not guilty. And we don't want to reopen any cases here. We're not worried about the legality.
Yeah, because you can't. You would fail if you tried to reopen any case
of the issue, because the fact is he's out of jail. But my personal opinion is that I believe anybody who kills two people should be jailed, regardless of how they did it.
Even if
so if someone gets attacked, they should be and they have to kill two people because they're getting attacked because they're outnumbered. He should be jailed.
If it were in the case of self-defense, which is what I think they said for him.
That's what they claim it, but from what I saw, I don't think it was self-defense.
All right, this is very clear. He didn't watch the trial at all. He didn't watch any of the trial because the two people he killed were actively attacking him. Joseph Rosenbaum was actively attacking him, attempting to take his gun out. That was proven because his hand was in a way that the only way that his hand could get the powder, I think it was, on it was if he had his hand that particular way. And like when he grabbed and the only way he could get it was being so close to the barrel that he could He could almost grab it. And then with Anthony Hubert, he was actively attacking him and hitting him in the head with a skateboard. And then the one person he didn't kill but injured admitted on stand that Kyle Rittenhouse did not shoot him until he pointed a gun at him.
If somebody's defending themselves, let them defend themselves. But in this case of a person who popular opinion is that he was doing it out of an action to just kill them. I mean, how would it be?
That's not popular opinion. That's popular leftist opinion, but that's not popular opinion.
Defending himself if he had a gun and Joseph Rosenbaum had a plastic bag.
Yeah.
Because Joseph Rosenbaum was actively attempting to take away said gun from him.
How would it be self-defense if he was killing Anthony Hubert, but Anthony Hubert only had a skateboard to
that he was hitting him on the head with?
Defend himself.
Absolutely.
I don't think that's self-defense.
I have one last question for you. You went to Kenosha while there were George Floyd, both riots and protests. What do you make of his reasoning for even being there and showing up there? I think he said he wanted to protect the community against riots that he was seeing there. Later on, he actually said he supports BLM. What do you make of the totality of the
I believe it's complete lies. Not only is he a white vigilante, he's also a white supremacist, and he's been supported by racial groups like the KKK, the Proud Boys. I completely believe.
Just because someone supports you doesn't mean you're affiliated with that group. Okay. So this is dumb. This shows this is a kid who doesn't know anything, who hasn't really lived any life, and doesn't understand what he's really saying. Odds are he's been propaganda. He's had teachers, adults propaganda him with a bunch of lies.
That his beliefs for support in BLM are completely untrue.
What do you think he's a white supremacist specifically?
Because he supports ideas that are strictly pro-white and anti-black, and not just anti-black, anti-minority.
Like, what has he said specifically?
He said that BLM and their objectives have been lies. He said that queer.
They have been lies. What are you talking about?
Lives where he's I don't know specifically what he quoted.
Oh, he doesn't know. Shocking. They never know. Whenever you push press these people against what they think, they never know.
Know that he's not only made condescending comments, but also has lack of respect for people in the queer umbrella.
So
and even a person like me who doesn't fit under that umbrella, I understand that everybody deserves simply respect. But him and his conservative associates believe that that everything has to be their way. They can have their.
No, that's leftist. That's leftist. It has to be on their way. Most conservatives are like, if you just don't bother me, I don't care.
Way of belief, and we've been mentioning it as we've been walking, that people can have their beliefs and people don't have to join us, but they do have to respect everybody.
What do you make of some people who view him?
Respect isn't earned, respect isn't given, it's earned.
As a hero.
They have their own perspective, but I know that I wouldn't view a person who kills a person that threw a plastic bag at him as a.
You didn't kill him for throwing a plastic bag at him. This is proof that this kid didn't watch the trial. And this guy reporting apparently didn't watch it either because they're not pushing back on anything. He's probably scared because he's white and outnumbered. But yeah, Rosenbaum wasn't shot because he had a plastic bag thrown around him. He was shot because Joseph Rosenbaum was attempting to take the gun away from Rittenhouse.
As a hero.
Absolutely. Sir, thank you so much for your time. Absolutely. Good luck out there. Stay safe.
Yes,
thank you.
Now, I also don't view Rittenhouse as a hero or anything. I think it's a dumb thing. He's not a hero. He didn't go out with this intent to do anything. He didn't intend to do good. Do good in the sense of killing a pedophile and shit like that. He didn't do any of that. Okay. He was just a guy who was he was just a kid in an area in a situation and came out on top. That's all he really is. He's not a hero. Okay. He's just a kid who ended up being in a situation and fortunately came out on top. Okay. But he's not a hero. I think calling him a hero is dumb. Like, oh, he's a hero. Why? Like, what was heroic? He just defended his life. It's not heroic to defend your own life. Now, if he was down the street and shots were being fired, he grabbed his gun, ran down there, saw people being executed, and lined up a shot, got and fired upon and killed the person who was being a mass shooter. That'd be a heroic thing. But defending oneself isn't heroic. So I really hate conservatives calling him a hero. It's dumb. It's really dumb. Kyle Rittenhouse isn't a hero. He's just an average dude. Like, There's nothing heroic about preventing yourself from being murdered. It's just something we would all do. All right. So it's dumb, but it's very clear that neither of them, the reporter or the kid talking, watched the trial at all. It's very clear. Oh shit, that's not it. And it's not surprising, but it's just annoying as hell. Hold on. It's just really dumb. Um, yeah, it's this stuff's just ridiculous. It's really dumb. And it's funny. He's like, oh, the ideas he spews. Well, what ideas are those? Wow, he said negative things about people. So that doesn't make he's negative. Like there's nothing really he could say, and that just proves that he's propagandized against. He just had a bunch of propaganda fed into him, and then he was, I'm gonna believe this. That's all that's really proven to me. He didn't watch the trial, and he has no idea what he's talking about, which is common nowadays. All right. So apparently, Amber Rose versus Amber Rose thinks that she doesn't men or women don't need men, which I'm pretty sure Amber Rose her entire career is due to men. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure her entire career was because men gave her the opportunities.
The baby. We don't really need a man anymore, right? So what happens is that men feel inferior and in turn down us for
But that's
that.
not true.
It is true.
No, real men do not feel inferior to a woman. Now, a beta male, maybe, but not a real man. And making money and doing the things that you just named, that doesn't make a woman at all, because anybody can go out and make money.
Well, I don't understand what you're saying, Jesse.
What makes a
'Cause you're not that
woman is
smart.
when she's not in competition with a man. She understands
What
the
about a
role
man
of
being in
both.
competition with a woman?
A real man would never be in competition with a woman.
Why? But what if
because
she makes more money and what if
because
she's just smarter?
a woman is not competition for a man. He naturally has authority over her.
Jesse,
So I
You
gotta
like how
ask
she
you
does
about
making me so sad right
like you like how she has no response. Now she's gonna go with the personal attacks or something. You make me so sad. You're so but she doesn't really have a rebuttal, and this is very common nowadays with these type of conversations. She doesn't have a rebuttal,
now. Honestly, all we need.
so it's very interesting. Like we don't need men. All they are for us is to make babies. It's not really accurate because most women want men that make more money than they do. Okay, so because they want a protector and a provider, they want protection from a man from other men. So you don't need them just for babies. Because and even and I'm not, and I'm going to go even further. Women really do need men because it's only because of men that women have anything at all. It's because of the backing of men. Like if women, like say all men switched up and decided, hey, you know what, fuck it, we're going to suppress women. Let's just say that happened. All right. What could women really do without the backing of men to be their force? Andrew Wilson talks about this a lot, but like really, like say, all the women decided, hey, or all the men decide, hey, we're against women. We're gonna suppress them. There's nothing they can do anymore. And the women were like, well, we want to keep what we're doing. What's really what can women really do to prevent men from acting upon what they want? Nothing. They can't meet us with equal force because we are superior than them physically. And so why that's why we're having issues with transgenders in sports, because they are dominating women's sports. That's why there's a big issue. They're taking all the scholarships and shit. So it's, women need men far more than they realize, and it's only because we're in such a safe and secure society that women don't understand that anymore. That everything you have is due to a man. Because if men didn't back you, there wasn't the force of men backing you, you wouldn't have shit. Because men could just take whatever they want. I got into an argument with someone on Twitter about this, and they kept dodging my question. I asked a simple question, it's like, what? Because they mentioned like this 4B thing in South Korea or whatever. Cool. No, apparently it's some feminist movement that's that's preventing women from, or not preventing, but is women rejecting having children, shit like that. I don't know. I looked into it very little, um, and everything, and it's leading to the decline of birth rates in South Korea, according to them. And I asked them, what, uh, what, what could women do? Or let's see, what did I say? I said, what? Fucking hell. Let's see if I can see. I said, what would prevent? Okay, I said, what would prevent the men from going out and forcing these women into a breeding facility? All they had back as a response was, "It's never going to happen." It's not really a fucking response. Um, it's really not, because they just completely dodged the questions. Like, what can women do to, without the backing of men, to prevent the South Koreans, like South Korean men, from going and forcibly putting these women into a breeding facility? That was my question. And they're like, again, that will never happen. In reality, men will some dumb shit like that and beg women to have children with them. That's exactly what's happening in South Korea. If women want y'all to go extinct, they would. Well, women would go extinct as well. But they kept dodging the questions. Like, I answered your question, and annoyed the shit out of me. I stopped messaging back because it was fairly pointless at this point. But it was never answered. The question was never answered. So in South Korea, what's to prevent the men from going and forcing the women into a breeding facility to pump up their numbers? And the answer is, unless those women had the backing of other men, not much they can fucking do. And not only the backing of other men, but men that are stronger and far more capable than the men going after them. And that's what women really need men for, is that the whole protection. Like, you hear on Fresh and Fit and everything about, they always talk about, women need men to protect them. That's how men show loyalty. And the protection is a lot broader than they normally talk about. They normally just talk about the relationship. But, the protection is far reaching. Every right a woman has a backing of a man. And if we decide to switch up, there's nothing really women can do. I make this argument continuously, is if you lock a man, an average man with an average man, you lock him in a room and say, fight for your beliefs. And, you have to fight to the death. And whoever wins, whoever survives, their beliefs win. 50-50 shot which man is going to end up going. Okay. Now you put an average man and an average woman, and you say the same thing, fight for your beliefs. Whoever, wins, their beliefs are correct. Women's going to lose most of the time, if not all the time, probably all the time. And it's just a simple fact. So this whole feminist bullshit of we don't need men is dumb. And again, I'm pretty sure Amber Rose's whole career was due to men. Let's see. She first gained attention after starring in a music video of Young Jeezy single "Put It On," which featured Kanye West. She entered a heavily publicized 2-year romantic relationship with West, which led to her to model for Louis Vuitton. Now I'm using Wikipedia, so you can trust it as much as you like. I don't care. Following year, she signed a modeling contract with Ford's Model, due to West, obviously. After splitting with West into 2010, Rose, oh my God, Levanchuk, that's Amber Rose's apparent last name. She's 40. God damn, she's got a lot of plastic surgery. LeChuck began dating rapper Wes Khalifa, whom she married in 2013. Filed for divorce. Following this, she released her first book, How to Be a Bad Bitch. Simon Schuster followed the Los Angeles chapter. So, like, for the majority of her career, it's because of men that she has anything. Guest starred in an episode of Wild and Out and had a role in Marijuana in the film School Dance, which was directed by her then manager Nick Cannon. So her manager is the guy. So like literally her entire the reason she has a career is because of men, and she wants to claim she doesn't have men. Dumb feminist. All right, well, I got shit I need to do. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This shit's hilarious. I hope you enjoyed me being a misogynist and a racist and everything like that, right? Because I'm sure that's what the claim will be. I don't care. I am who I am, and it's all good. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe. Give me a follow on my various channels. If you're watching this on X, give it a like and come follow me on Rumble. Yes, I am streaming on X as well. X, YouTube, Rumble, and Twitch. And make sure you buy some Rumble stock. Continues to go up. Shout out to Rumlet Go 62 for the follow. Just follow me. Appreciate you. I'm going to my Rumble stock because I want to tell you, because I keep telling you people start investing in Rumble. Ah, damn it. Okay, there it is. Let's see, it was like 750 yesterday, and it's currently 725. It's been staying on 7 for a while, so it's it's slowly but surely going up. So if it'd be a good idea as Rumble starts to get better and bigger to start buying some Rumble stock. All right, be a good idea. That stock's going to go up. You buy some more. But yeah, Rumble's the way to go. Shout out to Rumble. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like and subscribe. I've already said that. All right, peace out, and I'll see you later. Peace.